Well, good evening and welcome to Financial Friday. I'm Minister Sharon Brumfield and I'm standing in for Dr. Burns. But we have Minister Brother James Jones with us as always. And so go ahead and talk to the guest tonight, Brother James.
Oh, yeah. So, like always, I want to say hello, everyone, and good evening to all my grinders. So, for everybody's out there, this is week 3. We're going to get it in. We're going to do it right.
Yes, yes. So how was your day today, James?
My day was jam packed. I had to drive out to Indianapolis, so that was fun. That's always fun. I like driving a lot.
Hmm.
We had Indianapolis. We had to do. We come out of Indianapolis. I had to come back up to Milwaukee, so it was like a turn and burn in Indianapolis. Go down there, get some stuff done, come back up here. We had a work order we had to do at a company, so we completed that work order here in Milwaukee.
Okay.
my days, my my personal days are packed with a whole lot of things happening. So I am always happy that God has kept me in,
Right.
in motion and just make sure I didn't break anything. So yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we don't want you breaking anything now.
Yeah, 'cause I think in a single day today, I did over 800 miles. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and that's one day. So if you're doing 12,000, I did 800 in a single day. So if you
Wow.
did 12,000 a year, I did 800 in a single day. So
That's some miles. That's some driving right there. That's some driving. So if you
yeah.
tonight, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you hit that heart button, like and share, invite somebody to come and be a part of what's happening tonight on Financial Friday. So let's go ahead and get into the recap from the last couple of weeks. So week one, there was an overview of building habits for success out of the
Yeah.
book On the Road to Six Figures, the 90-day challenge. Now, if you have not gotten your book yet, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You want to make this investment in your life so that your financial future can change and transform. So let me go ahead and put that link in the chat here. Good evening, Minister Rodney Pfeiffer. Good evening.
Yeah.
So here, let me go ahead. While I'm putting this in the chat, um, Minister Brother James, go ahead and share with the audience.
Okay,
Um,
cool. The biggest things we got to talk about is that uh, week one was just getting us to the foundation, getting us started. So we always want to make sure that we are getting started. And like all things, it's not starting where I am; it's starting where you are. So wherever you are, that's where you start at. Is basically having an understanding of what's going to happen, having an understanding of assignment to all your money. Like we assign everything else, you assign your money, and then having the big picture or the vision of what you want to do. And lastly, it is the congratulations to the 90-day challenge because we want you at the end of 90 days to be successful in what you're doing. So it is growing what you have or starting from where you are. So whichever way you want to see it or look at it, that's what the 90-day challenge is all about. So we're all in it together to make sure we are accomplished in this.
all right, so I put the link for the book right here. It's in the chat and it's also here on the screen. You can go ahead and click that in the chat. Invest in yourself. It's just a $20 investment so that you can see your financial future change, so that you can begin to transform. And it's better to have the book to follow along and you can do the steps and go back and read the chapters and read the information that's in there for you. And so that link is right there in the chat. Uh,
Yes.
two, you guys talked about building habits for success, and you were focusing on budgeting. And again, out of the book, On the Road to Six Figures, the 90-day challenge, Brother James took us through, using a budget. And tell us a little bit about that. I know you're going to go into that tonight as
Yeah.
well. So let me go ahead and finish the recap and then you can go ahead and get us into our lesson tonight.
Yes.
And so tonight, Brother James is going to pick up where he left off, using the simple budget to help us build a foundational habit for success. And then we'll watch a quick video and we're going to chop it up a little bit as we close out the time today. All right. So you go ahead, Minister Brother James, and get us started in the lesson for tonight.
Okay, gotcha. Uh, is my screen being?
Here, let me
Can
get
you?
that for you.
Okay, gotcha.
There we go.
Okay, so what we talked. This is all the things that we just talked about yesterday. Not yesterday, last week. It
Right.
seems like we just saw each other. Like it always. These are always fun. But the put 0 here. So the big things we don't talk about that I'm finna recap is that everything starts with income, not debt. So you want to look at the bottom and you want to start inputting your income. Now, some people go from two family budget incomes or two family incomes or two person incomes. And some people have four family incomes. Some people have one family income. No matter where you are, you want to input your incomes in here. Now, whether you put your income in this area or you put your income in this area, it's all the same and they all add up to the right thing. All the information is pre-programmed, so you don't have to necessarily go into the income and change it up, right? Make some crazy information. You don't have to do that because it's there for you to have you have better understanding. What you do have to put your info in is on the actual. So you go here and you type in your actual gross. Is not what your paycheck, your net proceeds are from your paycheck or what you have remaining. It is what your gross is. So if you work hourly, or if you work off a salary, that's your paycheck for the month. So a person who may make 40,000 a year or 66,000 a year, you come in and your paycheck is gonna look something along the lines of this, or something along the lines of this. Ooh, that's a one too many. I think I did it twice. And yeah, there we go. I put too many fives in. So you want to make sure that it's going to come out to pretty basic even numbers because of the fact it's the hours or the minutes that you're paid by. So to recap, you don't have to put anything inside of the income slot. You have to put the amounts you have inside of the actual slot. So if you do it over here and then you zero this one out, you will still be at 5,000. The math is still the same.
Okay.
Now, some of us, we may have a passive income that comes in, and some of us have passive incomes that come in at certain times throughout the month. So I'll go over that too, but we're just recapping right now. So what you want to do is you want to first put your income, your gross income. Once you put your gross income here, you can look up here and it tells you just your estimates. Your estimates are not what you are doing. Your estimates are just telling you what 10% looks like, what 40% looks like, what 20% looks like, what 5% looks like. So we can go down the list and say 10, 10, 40, 20, 10, 5, and 5. So you know what the estimates are. Now, you actually start giving, that's when you go over here. And now you're actually giving, or how much are you giving to God? And one thing we always teach at Jericho is to be a cheerful giver. So you give with your heart intent. Okay. So you may give $500, $20 to charity. You may give another $50 just for a donation to a worthy cause. That's $570. So your estimate is 500. You gave 570, and it actually leaves you at 11.40%. That's how much of your gross income that you utilized. Okay. It's
Okay.
not bad, it's not good, it's just information. Because with the right information, you can make better decisions.
Yes.
With the correct information, you can make better decisions.
Yes. So, quick question.
Yes.
So, looking at the spreadsheet here, you put once you put in your particular income, then it'll give you an estimate, right? And then
Yes.
once you actually tithe or give to a charity, you put those numbers in, and then it gives you the percentage.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So we can go over that. I'm gonna make these all zeros. So let's say that you went to church and it was lit on your heart and you was like, I'm finna give a whole paycheck.
Mhm.
Which you can do. You can actually give a whole paycheck. There's nothing stopping you from being led to give a whole paycheck. So you give a whole paycheck. You still got charitable donations. So let's say that you give some money to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, the YWCA, right? These are all organizations that you can still give charitably to. So you still, or Special Olympics, I mean, not forget them. And so now you give another $50 or $40. Donations like clothing, is fire prevention, clothing to Goodwill, or you want to donate your time or monetary items. So you give another $30, right? Even though you gave a total of 2,570. If you look over here, it only has you slotted at 51.40%.
Right.
Okay. Now that's not saying that some people won't do it. It's not saying to do it or not to do it. This percentage is merely a number justified off of the income that you have at the bottom of your screen.
Got
So
it.
this is how much you bring in, this is how much you gave, and that is it. Now, some of you may not be that cheery, or God may not have told you to give. So you give $600. You can actually give $500. You can give $300. All of this is on you. So everything is for you. But it tells you. So let's say somebody old school, like real old school, and you had that one dude that came to church sometimes or maybe, and he gave $20 to the collection plate because we passed the collection plate back in the day, and he probably gave $1 to charity and $2 he gave to some kid that was on the street, right? So eventually he gave a total of point 46%. So he gave less than 1% to helping another person. So it wasn't just, when I say help another person, everything comes under God. So when you're helping those who are in need, that is all under the framework of giving to God. So at that moment, he can look and say, hey, I gave 0.46%. I gave less than 1%. Is that gonna make him change his ways? Is that gonna make you? If the answer is no, don't worry about it. If the answer is yes, worry about it, because your conscience is your conscience. This budget friendly worksheet is just to give awareness to what's going on. Because as you are aware, you can make better decisions.
Right.
Now, as for me and my house, we we gonna give. I don't know how to tell y'all out there, but as for me and my house, we know the glory of the Lord. So
Right.
so we give. We give it. And so for an example purpose that you can see in front of you, tithes and offering is 10%. So we gave 500. Charity at 120. Another donation for $30 comes to 650. Excuse me. So it doesn't go too far above 10%. It's still at 13%, which is still within reason.
Right.
So when people are like, well, how much do you give? I give what's in my heart to give. So I'm not giving crazy. I'm not giving because somebody told me to. Give out of what's in your heart, and I
Right.
can't stress that enough. God will tell you if you pray. Everything is an if. If you pursue God, God will pursue you. If
Right.
you ask God for a question, God will give you an answer.
He will.
So
He definitely will. He
yeah,
definitely will. Well, good evening. I see we have some of our challengers are on the live tonight. Good evening, Corey, and good evening, Dormika. If you're in the live tonight, just come in the comments, say hello. Let us know that you're joining us. If you were able to get your book tonight, put that in the chat. Say, I got my book tonight and I'm ready to go. And so When Brother James finishes his review, he's going to jump in with the new information for tonight. So you want to make sure that you have your book, you want to make sure you have your notepad, your pen, and that you're ready to take some notes. Financial future.
Yes. I want to say hi to everybody out there, all my grinders. Thanks for getting on. Um,
I was
so
waiting. You didn't even start off with the hey
I,
grinder.
I said hi in the beginning. I said hello, good evening to everybody. I said hello to everybody, good evening to all my grinders.
You
My
did?
grinders.
Okay.
If you are out there, play the tape back. I'm always grinding. I'm always grinding. So good evening to all my grinders. We finna continue and get into this. So bring out your notepads. If you buy the book, get the book. We already in the process of setting up like a live event at the end, and then everybody gonna have a good time. So we're gonna also give out the. Hold on, we'll talk about that later. So let me get back in the review.
Yes.
I want to get all my grinders. Hey, let's do this. So in review, you got your offering being 10%. When it comes to the government, this is just for review. There's a lot of things that leaves your account. So when you get a paycheck, there's a lot of things. It's not just taxes. Some of that is insurance, and it's not just government taxes and insurance. Some of that is your retirement. So if you're not interested in diving into the details, then you could just say my deductions are whatever they are. So you get your check, you look at your check, and you see what your gross is, you see what your net is. Put the difference. Six, the difference is $652, right? That's just the difference. All right. You don't have to break down anything right now. We will get into that a little later or next week, particularly. But for right now and for review, if you do want to dive into it, you can. Otherwise, just put the difference between what you make and what you bring home. You can put that difference into the gray area. It will let you know that you are producing about 13% is what the government is taking out. But we can break that down so you have a better picture. Next is lifestyle. And lifestyle is really big for me because we all fall into lifestyles. So whether you own or rent, whether you lease or you buy, whether you fly or you drive, everything has a lifestyle. So your lifestyle is yours. It's like your self-esteem. It's like your confidence. So everything that you do revolves around you. This is a computer. This system is just going to tell you how much you spend on you. Whether you're a mom or dad and you got to spend for a bunch of people or you got a bunch of dependents, all of that happiness of being a life is part of your lifestyle. So put everything in there. So let's say that you got a mortgage, you got rent, you got groceries, which is always going higher. So if you don't click coupons like we talked about, you may want to watch that section and learn how to clip coupons to get yourself to reduce the grocery amount.
Right.
We Energies, they got tons of different programs. I know this is review, but I just want to let you know that there's a lot of things on here to reduce if you have them. But for right now, we're just putting a bunch of information down. So what do you spend on your rent or your mortgage? What do you spend on your groceries? What do you spend on your electricity? What do you spend on your credit cards? What do you spend on your car loans? What do you spend on your car insurance? The Some of the nuances is what do you spend on gas? Because like me, I drive a lot. So my gas is about $200 to $300. And I'm not talking about in a month. I'm talking about I'm spending $200 to $300 in 2 weeks. So if that's you, then your gas prices your gas range will be high. If it's not you, your gas range will probably be a lot less because you're not spending $100. Yeah, I know I spend a lot of money on gas, but gas is part of my budget.
Right.
So as long as it's budgeted in, you're able to accomplish what you're looking for. So if I was to grab this and how much I spend, I typically spend anywhere from $250 to $265 in gas. And I know some people are gonna be like, man, it's a lot. Yes, it is. It's a lot of gas. So then you got your internet, and then it tells you that you're around 51% of your income is just going to your lifestyle. Even though the estimate is at 2,000, you're at 51%. Don't worry about it right now. The biggest thing that you need to do is just plot everything down. We'll get more into how to rearrange it to make it better suit you. The last thing that you can do on this board is go down to your investments. Now, I am really big on investments. I do not believe in a government retiring me. I just don't believe in it. It's not to say that it can't happen. It's not to say that I don't have things in place or you should not have things in place. I'm telling you that even though we do have Social Security and things of that nature for retirees, the better plan is to plan for your retirement. And the best plan for your retirement is for you to have a plan for your retirement or a plan for your future. So with this, you're putting $200 down. Am I there? Yep, you're putting $200. So with this one, you're putting $200 away for your future. Now you may go higher, you may go lower, but it all depends on what you would like to do. So you can go here and rent an office space or just work out of your house. These words are all rearrangeable, so you can do this for cooking. See?
Mhm.
Go over and you can put in whatever you want to spend for cooking. So let's say you spend another $500. Okay. And if you were to do that, right now you're sitting, and this is where things start getting tricky. Because if you go up here, right up here, you're at 14%, but your overall is at 106%. Remember what I told you. These are just numbers currently until you put weight behind it. So plot in, excuse me, plot in all of your numbers. Okay. That is the review of yesterday. So now let's get into what we're gonna do for this time.
Okay.
Okay. Now to get started, I think one of my kids are so funny they unplugged me. So
Uh-oh.
now which yeah, I know my kids are hilarious. Yes, I got the smartest baby girls. Hold on for 1 second. There we go.
All right. As Brother James is getting situated with his computer, um, we're recapping week one, week two, and week three. And if you haven't gotten your book On the Road to Six Figures, the 90-day challenge, you want to make sure that you get that. The link is in the comment right there. You can just scroll up and you can get that link. It's a $20 investment that you're making into yourself. It's a time for you to have new information, maybe some information that you've heard before, but you're able to have that ebook right there on your phone or on your laptop so that you can go back, revisit the information, read it over again, fill in the blanks, write out your thoughts so that you can begin to move yourself from where you are financially to where you desire to be. All right, James is still getting himself situated. So let's look at some thoughts that we can talk about while he's getting himself together. Listen to this. Successful budgeting comes from making it a consistent habit, not a one-time effort. So when we're trying to put our budget together, it may take us several times before we really get it to where we are comfortable with it. Because sometimes you may have to tell yourself no when you're putting the budget together. Sometimes the money is not covering everything. And so you've got to, make some adjustments. So it's not just a one-time thing because you have this Excel spreadsheet and it's just going to happen overnight. No, it takes working together. If you're married, it takes working with your spouse. If you're single, it takes you having discipline and having uh, that why. Why do I need to have this budget? What am I trying to accomplish with this budget? And it takes you trying over and over and over again, not giving up when it doesn't work the first time, but making the adjustments so that you can change your financial future. I keep saying that because that's exactly what we're doing. We're not doing the same things over and over and over again to stay where we are. No, we're coming out of our comfort zone when it comes to our finances so that we can experience greater. All right, James, you back?
Yes, I am. I am back. I do love my kids. They are a wonderful ball of joy who can just take some power cords and run off. So she is. Kids are amazing. Kids are amazing, and they keep you on their toes.
Yes. Now we have a question in the comments. It says, is a high yield savings account, it says, is a start. So is that a place to start with the high yield savings account? I believe that's what the question is.
Yes. So when you say high yield, remember high yield is more than 3%. Anything less than 3% is not high yielding. So think of your savings accounts as if you made $100,000, right? And I know that may be off-putting for some, but for every well, that may be off-putting for some, but let me just tell you that the baseline of six figures, right? So if you make $100,000 and your interest is 3% or greater, that means every month you bring in $3,000 passively. So that's the reason why the baseline is 3,000 is $100,000. High yielding is is in the terms that now it's getting into something that is at the end of the day you're actually making some money. I guess that's the best way to put it. Because if you say your high yield is 0.5%, you're not making any money. Uh, excuse me. Another thing that I like about high yielding. So small answer, yes, high yielding is the best way to start. A high yielding savings account is a good start. Moving from that, if it's high yielding and it's a savings account, remember savings accounts are only for temporary purposes. So you're putting that money in there so you can move it to something else. So all of my savings accounts that I have about three of them, once they reach a certain dollar amount, that money leaves the savings account and goes into another investment or a residual income or a passive income producing item. So I think it's good to have a high yielding savings account in the beginning.
Mhm.
However, you want to make sure that your money isn't just stockpiling in the high yield unless it is for your safety net, which is your emergency fund,
Right.
or you're about to use it to do something else. It's not that it's bad, it's just that uh, the best goal, the best way, the best thing that I can tell you is to always have your money assigned to do something. So high yielding means that you're getting more return, but it has to be doing something or
Okay.
planned on doing something.
Okay. So, Minister Rodney, let us know if that answered your question.
But yeah. Yeah, but it is a good start. Savings accounts are a start. I have savings accounts on a lot of things. I have one on the business side, I have one on the personal side. So my savings accounts right now are doing a lot of work because they are assigned to. If one savings account is not pulling in the right amount of interest that it needs to, I typically move my money over to something else.
Okay.
Once that savings account, I have three different thresholds. So that's the reason why. One is $500. Those are typically easy to, the term is called flip, but it's to move the money over. So you do a $500 CD, a $600 CD, and then that money is flipping over. The next one is $1,000, and that's how you get started in your money markets, which are savings accounts, but they give you some benefits of a checking. And
Okay.
then $1,500 is typically how you would start to do investment. Now, that's just me. That's not everybody. So you can do an investment at $200. You can invest at $100. You can do whatever you want to do with your money. I am just telling you my example.
Okay. Thank you.
So, okay. So with all that being said, now let's get back into the budget. So one of the big things that happen that we don't always talk about is that you're putting your regular information in and day out. But if you come down to the bottom and you can switch over to your different months, what will happen is that if you own your own house, the one thing that comes out every quarter that we don't talk about is called a water bill. So in March, March isn't here yet, but you can put in here water bill
Mhm.
because it's already pre-planned. Your water bill is pre-planned. Mine is a little bit higher than in is probably higher than average. So my water bill is about $350 to $400, and I can plan that out automatically. So I did it for March. I'm gonna come over here to June, and I'm putting it right in.
Okay.
Okay, and that's just an advanced way of using your structure. Because by putting it in early, now you have the ability to already start pre-assigning your money. I'm gonna go back to the example because the example isn't dealing with those. It is just what you doing for the month. Now I will show you what happens. So when you do March has a bill of 360 and June has a bill of 450. Now we can go over to the tab that's right next to your example, and it's called the annual. So inside the annual, it tells you how these things play out. Oh, hold on, let me go back over, and there we go. March is 360. That's the total. It tells you it your lifestyle is 18. It's 1,800%, and in the annual, it will come up here in the lifestyle, but something must have went wrong. Get that
Okay.
to see what happened. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, I know I went over these numbers, so I will have to. I'll go over and recheck to see what happened. Yeah, but I'll
Okay.
do that offline. But your annual is what is where all the numbers need to transpond or correspond over into, and then in your annual. So if you do something in March, you do $2,500 there and $2,500 there. When you go to your annual picks up that interest. Your annual picks up the cash and it expresses what the estimates are. The same thing is true in June. I'm hoping. I'm. The funny part is now I'm hoping everything works out. Okay, so now we're in 10,000. So in your first quarter is the first 3 months, just like your water bill, January, February, March. Your second quarter is March, is April, May, and June is your second quarter. So those quarters are now inside of your actual, and it tells you what your estimates are based on just the numbers.
Okay.
So the good part about that is now you can start making plans for what the actual is. So if you make 60,000 in a year, you can divide 60,000 by 12, and you know that you make 5,000 a month. That would be that your that would be your basic. Let me go back. That would be your basic. Can everybody see me? Okay. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast. But if you made 60,000 a year, that means that you make 5,000 per month. If
Mhm.
you get paid twice in a month, that means you make 2,500 per paycheck. By being able to do that successfully or think it out successfully, you're able to plan out a whole year. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you that's how it is done. So when they give you your annual amount of how much they will pay you can, in theory, go in here and you can spread it out all 12 months and
Mhm.
you can start planning for your money to be spent.
Okay. Okay. Minister Rodney had another question
Yeah.
from that savings question he asked, and he says, "Can I transfer my interest payments to my regular savings at 0.01%?"
Can you transfer your if you're if the interest is off of the savings account, then it happens automatically.
Mhm.
If you have another account, then you have to do it manually.
Okay.
So because some accounts are dividends accounts,
Mhm.
and the dividend account, if you don't do it, it rolls right. But then you have other accounts that are not attached to each other. So let's say you have two Chase accounts. You can you can do an automatic withdrawal from one account to the other. So when this account hits the interest maturity rate, you can have an automatic withdrawal into your regular account based on the day.
Okay.
However, if you have a Chase account and a BMO Harris account or a US Bank account and a Charles Schwab account, then you will have to physically move the money out and then move it in.
Put it in there.
Um, in this day and age, there are a lot more technological advances. So you may be able to link the accounts and
Mhm.
then be able to be able to transfer money, but it may take a couple of days versus immediate.
Okay. All right. So let's just
I,
for a minute,
go ahead.
Brother Minister James, and make sure everybody is with us. You know,
Yeah.
we've talked about a lot and we've moved throughout the budget. And so if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat so James can address those. We just want to make sure that everybody is clear with the budget information, how to put the information in. And how to look for the percentages and all of that. So if you have any questions, don't hold them, put them in the chat. We don't want to lose anyone as we're going through this lesson today. All right.
And one of the benefits is if you can see right here that you're at 106%. And I'm not going to say you, I'm going to just say I. Right
Mhm.
now, I am currently at 106%. I am not worried about the 106% right now. And the reason why you need not to be worried is because if you was at 106% now, that means you were at 106% last month, which means you was probably at 106% back in November. So even though it looks tiresome, I want you to refrain from doing something drastic.
Okay.
The goal is for you to first recognize how much money you have leaving. Then let's start the process of moving you in a better direction.
Okay.
Because being hysterical doesn't do much but throw you off. Moving a lot of money with an emotional mindset, it doesn't put you in the best financial mindset because your money is just moving, but is not moving correctly. So let's say you're at 106% and you said, I know exactly what to do. I'm finna chop off my rent. I'm finna move out of my house. I'm finna live in a cardboard box. Good. Okay. So now you're at 82%. The question that you just the blow you just dealt yourself is a good question. Is it worth it?
Right.
Is it is it worth you living in a cardboard box to reduce your income from 106 down to 82? 82% overall is still a lot of it's still a lot of your money is still being used to do what you do. It will be a lot easier and beneficial, right, for you to see what you're doing and then to start making proper advancements. And I say advancements to reduce what you have because you may be and you may look and say, you know what, I can chop away at the cooking, going from 500 down to 300. That's $200. And even though you moved only 4 percentage points, you're still moving.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to really stress that no matter where you find yourself, and I do mean Even if you're at 120%, you know it because obviously you're hemorrhaging a lot of money. But at 106, you may not know it. You may be one or two steps behind.
Mhm.
If you're at 90%, you're very close to the 106. You're probably one or two steps behind. Because when your overall is at 99, that means every dollar you bring in is already leaving. That means any emergencies, any shortages, anything that will trip you up can trip you up. So we want to make sure that we are moving correctly. And the best way to do that is if you gave $500, keep giving $500. Okay. If your safety net is $200, then let it be $200. If it's 550, then if your safety net is 550, then let it be. However, in the next month, so for February, once you see how much you are spending, that's when you want to start making adjustments. Not in what you're doing, in the future of what you will do. If that makes any sense to you, I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, it makes sense, Brother James. Can you just elaborate a little bit more when you talked about making drastic decisions? What would be an example of that? I know you said not living in a cardboard box, but what are some realistic small steps that they could make?
Oh, okay. So if you're not a coupon clipper, a small step is just be a digital coupon clipper. Pick and Save has a lot of coupons. Walmart doesn't have that many coupons. Or another way is you can buy off-brand stuff. A bag of chips just tastes like a bag of chips. I'm sorry. I mean, if you got a particular sweet tooth for Hershey chocolate, you may want to try an off-brand Hershey chocolate. I don't know what it's called, but everything has a generic brand. If you have to stick to premiums, right? Then what is the location that you're utilizing? So there's a bunch of different areas on how to do it. You just got to find the one that works best for you. So if you like all your name brand stuff, look for coupons.
Mhm.
Coupons is the easiest way to reduce what you are spending. You're already spending money on. Another way to reduce the amount of money that you're spending on something is to buy in bulk. By buying in bulk, it does two things. One, it reduces your travel time because if you make one or two trips and you buy in bulk, that means that second trip would never happen. So you reduce your impulse to buy something else because you're only making one trip. And two, by buying in bulk, you are actually buying it at a lower cost per good. I don't, which I can go into, but it's pretty much saying that if a can of peas costs $2, by buying in bulk, that can of peas now each can of pea now costs $1.80. So you're saving yourself 20 cents and over. And once you buy more than nine cans of peas, it's like buying one and getting one free. It's like buying nine and getting one free.
Okay. Okay. Well, those are some really good ideas to help people
Yeah.
just make those small adjustments that can help them, cut down on some of their expenses. Now, do you have more of your PowerPoint for the um, budget here? Are we still working on the budget?
Oh no, we can actually finish up the budget. I just want to go over the next 3 months.
Okay.
So then that's how we do water bills.
Mhm.
And I can't stress that enough that oh no, we can close out the budget right now if you want to.
No, we have
Okay.
we have a little
Yeah.
time.
I can't stress that enough that the best way for you not to destroy yourself is for you to make drastic cuts. Like if you normally leave your lights on, you can turn your lights off. That's not a drastic cut. You returning a car, that's a drastic cut. It may be a drastic cut in the right direction, but it is still drastic if you don't have backups in place.
Right.
So if you look and your car loan is $1,000, or your car loan is 950, because some people get stuck on that $1,000 mark. If it's over 900, if it's over 800, if your car note or your car loan is as big as your rent payment, then your car loan is too high. That's a very standard way of looking at things. It would be very drastic to just turn it in and not have another means of transportation. That's drastic.
Exactly.
However, it will be beneficial if you do turn it in and get a car that you can utilize. Buying used isn't a bad thing. You just got to know what you're buying. Buying a car that can better represent you versus one that may be more glorious. Like, instead of having a 2026 expert XLT GMC Denali, instead of driving around in a truck and it's just you most of the days, you may want to just bring it back a little bit and get a minivan. Why? Because if it's only you, you can get a GMC truck and you're not hauling anything, or you can get the Chevy Aveo, or like I got is a Chevy Cruze, because they're more practical and they're more cost saving for just the vehicle, the maintenance, and the gas. So all of those are ways to save money.
Okay.
Okay. And that's pretty much it for the question. We will go a little bit more into this for the next week. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the budget. I do want to go back into it and check it out a little bit more, because I want you to be able to invest in your future, invest in your safety, invest in your accelerations, and go into your sanity.
Well, let's go and watch a quick video. Just give me 1 second so I can pull it up. And then we'll talk a little bit about the video.
Yes.
Budgeting is just a fancy term for keeping track of how much money comes in, how much money goes out, and how much is left over. Ideally, you would want to spend less than what you earn. You would then save the rest, invest, or put it aside for a rainy day. If you spend more than you earn, or are constantly scraping the bottom of the piggy bank to make ends meet, then maybe it's time to do something about it. While managing your money seems easy enough, sometimes you can lose track. Most people have no idea where their cash goes. Are you constantly missing out on opportunities to build on your savings? Maybe it is time to set a budget. The B word might sound daunting, but having a budget doesn't have to mean missing out. With careful planning, a budget can be your best friend. A budget will help you spend smarter and identify opportunities to keep more money in your pocket by simply modifying your spending behaviour. A budget can teach you the tricks of clever spending that you didn't learn at school, such as saving first, paying bills second. This little stash will help you keep focused with the lure of a golden carrot, perhaps a holiday or a new car to keep you motivated. It makes you accountable for your spending and helps you avoid the stress of living beyond your means. A budget puts you in touch with the reality of your financial situation, pinpointing exactly where you need to tighten your belt and where you can relax a little. You can track every cent you spend or forecast a monthly, quarterly, or annual budget. Would you expect a successful business operating without a budget? Of course not. So why would you expect to live a successful life without one? As you become better at sticking to a budget, the easier it is to make your money work harder and last longer. Get yourself some expert advice to help set a budget. After all, money enables you to choose how you want to live. So why not learn to spend it wisely?
That was a really interesting video. So for everyone who's joining us tonight, go ahead and put something in the chat. What did you get out of the video? One thing that stood out to you from the video, and we'll look at those as we're talking. But for me, is that the budget leads you. It helps you make decisions. I liked how the budget was walking along and saying, it's not that you can't get something, it's what you can get with your budget. So that
Yeah.
that was something that was interesting to me.
I was very enthused when I was on that same path because it was like, no, you save first and then you save first and you pay your bills. And I was like, yep, yep, yep. And then when he was walking past, his budget was like, don't grab the 135 shirts, grab the $45 shirts. And I'm like, yeah, it makes it so. I can't say it makes it so easy. I can't say that. Over time, it makes it so easy because you already know what you're spending. So
Mhm.
when you I actually I enjoyed it. I was like, man, yeah, it's a nice way. I think the video is a nice way to give everybody on the same page.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was informative, but simple, and the illustration of it and how that budget is right there with you, helping you make decisions, and then how it can help you have a treat as well. So your budget will help you go on a vacation, or your budget will help you purchase a car. Your budget will help you do those things because you're not frivolously spending. You're putting that money aside in that account, not just to sit there, but for something, whether you're going to invest it, whether you're
Yeah,
going to buy a new refrigerator, whether you're going to do something that you're saving it up for something or for your emergency money.
yeah. I think that's one of the fun things about having a budget. Now, just so everybody knows, the budget you don't really walk around with the budget. It's just on your mind. So
Yeah,
so I don't want somebody to be like, I gotta walk around with this piece of paper and like, no, don't walk around with it on your mind. But when you utilize the budget and you can see how much money you got leaving and coming, and you can see it in real time. And I'm not talking about I looked over my account before I got here because a lot of people don't. When you have a budget, you plan. So now you're not going to Walmart and buying an additional $100 plus, right? You're going to Walmart and you're like, okay, I know what groceries I need. I know how much money I got to play with. I know the kids got something going on. By writing the money down, and I know it sounds it sounds like it's so easy. And that's because it is. It is so easy. If you was to take this and just write your money down, I spent this on this, I spent this on this, I spent this on this, you will start realizing how much money you spend on things that has nothing to do with moving you forward.
right.
You was like, I went to Walmart, I bought 2 toys for a birthday party. Cool. Where does big box of candy come in from? Right? And you will have no idea. Or a guy like me, right? If I get hungry, I can eat $50 worth of food out of nowhere. And when I tell you gas stations are not the place you go when you're hungry, guess
Right.
what? That's not the place you go when you're hungry.
Mm,
But for a guy who's on the road all the time, if I didn't pack a lunch, if I didn't have snacks that I already bought, and when I say I bought snacks, I may go to Walmart and buy a big old box of chips. I may go to Aldi's and buy a big old box of chips. But I have food that I can eat because a soda at Walmart, right? A case of soda at Walmart, case of soda at Walmart, Pick and Save, Aldi's. Excuse me, a case of soda is about $5. That's 12 cans. It's gonna be under $5 to buy one soda at any gas station. It's $3, and that's one soda. And a guy like me who may
right.
be eating multiple meals while driving, that means if I stopped at the gas station 2 times today, I spent $20 on just snacks, just on meals, instead of having food already prepared and have it placed out for me. So I can tell you
Right.
that you got to be mindful of these things, and a budget does
Yeah.
that.
It does exactly that. So Dormika said a budget, where did it go? A budget helps you to not overspend. Minister Rodney said it was very informative. Dormika also said it helps you to be mindful. It really does. And then Minister Rodney said, just implement. We got to implement the things that we put in our budget because we can always write a budget and have it. But if we're not looking at it and checking and making sure that, Okay, I'm going to the store. I got $400.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend up to that 400 or below that 400, but I'm not going to go over that 400. Is very important.
Yeah, because one of the biggest things that I run into, and I make sure I tell everybody this, like I eat a lot. Like so to me, my biggest issue is eating because my wife, she may cook dinner, but I may eat dinner twice. She may make me breakfast, but I may eat breakfast twice. So one of the things that trips me up is that had I not prepared myself, I may spend in a single day an extra $50 on just eating. And this is outside of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I may spend $50 on just not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but just breakfast and dinner, just the travel time. Because I'm traveling, I'm picking up gas. I got to get a quick bite to eat. I didn't prepare myself, and that's what this is. I didn't
Yes.
prepare for lunch, so now I'm at Culver's getting
Yeah.
getting a deluxe burger with the concrete mixer, and now I just spent $20. But guess what? That's pre-lunch. I still got lunch to eat. So now I'm at a meeting and they all buy lunch. Well, let's go buy lunch. So now I got 2 subs from Jimmy John's. That's another 20 to $30. So now I'm on my way back home. Now I'm driving for another 4 or 5 hours. I stop to get more gas. Well, guess what? I'm at the gas station. I also get a bag of chips and a
Yeah.
soda. So now
Yeah.
so in between breakfast and dinner, I just spent $50. And
Yeah.
that's my Monday. I still got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to do all this all over again. So when I tell you having a budget allows me to say, you know what, I could ask if my wife could help me make some rice, or I need to learn how to make rice, and I need to learn how to have a sandwich. I need to learn how to have these meals prepped. So when I do leave, I can just eat some food on the road and I'm not buying all this money. I'm not spending all this money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the point that I think Domika and Sister Domika and Brother Rodney was talking about. It's just when it's on your mind, you start realizing like, dude, I'm spending a lot of money on food.
Mhm.
And then you start making those adjustments. It's like people who have a Planet Fitness. I ain't gonna talk about Planet Fitness badly. But if you have a Planet Fitness account and you never go to Planet Fitness,
It's
well, do
waste.
you need to spend $10 a month? Do you? Do you? It's just a question. Do you? Because some people say, well, what if I do go? Yeah, but what about the 19 months that you don't go and at one time you do? You have a
Yeah.
better option to just go to that one time and say I'm visiting, get your one workout in, and then go back and not go back there for the next 19 months. I mean, like, I laugh because one of my cousins had a Planet Fitness account and he never went. He was just paying $10 a month, and he was happy that it was cheap. But it was so cheap that he didn't think it affected him until I started bringing up the money. Like, dude, it only costs $10 a month. Yeah, but if you're not utilizing it, then why have it?
Then why have it? Exactly. Well, we have
And
run out of time.
we
Uh,
have.
we have about 2 minutes or so for us to close out. And so, what is your final words for everyone tonight, Brother James?
For week 3, I want you to know, in the words of the people that came before me, just implement it, write it down, and start getting it done. Only then can you actually get it. That'll be it for me. That's it for me.
Exactly. Let me see. We have Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. So when we have that budget, that's our plan. That's our walking papers. That's that's what we need to stay in the limitations of that. And it's not, I don't want to use the word limitation because that sounds negative, but that's our boundary, that budget is our boundary. So it helps us to stay within our means, stay within where we are until, like Dr. Burns would say, either you're gonna shave some money off or you're gonna make some more. So
Yeah.
it's up to us to make those choices, whether we're gonna, go out there and use a gift or a talent to increase our finances, or we're gonna have to, shave off some things off that budget so
Yeah.
that eliminates a lot of stress in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, that's the show for tonight. Again, I'm Minister Sharon Brumfield. I'm standing in for Dr. Burns. We have Brother James Jones here with us as well.
Oh,
So, Dr. Burns will be back next week. Whatever assignments that he's been giving, make sure that you're keeping up with that. If you haven't made your vision board, make sure you do that as well. All right. You guys be blessed. We'll see you next week.